Welcome back, Pirate Crew. It's your captain, Yeehaw Yadam, and for today's video, we're going to be looking at, again, other leaders that have been buffed naturally by the release of OP04, where today we're going to be looking at none other than Crocodile. Now, Crocodile is not a leader that really has been too present in the meta. It's a leader that's always there, you know, when you need him. He's your friend that's got your back, but he's not your friend that is there to win the game. So it's really cool that he, you know, if you remember at any point in time, Crocodile historically was a very powerful deck, especially in the super pre-release format. He was the best deck. That ability of Dawn -4 returning a character for tempo was fantastic. Coupled with very powerful bouncing effects from Doflamingo at that time. When you do that combination of Flamingo Dawn -4, Flamingo Flip as I like to call it, you gain a lot of tempo back. And you have a lot of defense in the form of just natural blockers and things of that nature. So it was a very powerful deck, and I guess the game just sped up too much for him to really take control of the meta. Blue in general has been kind of punished with having very low attack characters. It's one of the faults of Blue since the game came out all the way up to OP03, but that has been remedied by Kaido. Kaido is a 10-drop that is 12k attack and finally finds a home, well, in almost every blue deck just because he's so freaking big. Not only that, if you go combo Kaido's ability with Crocodile, that combination is chef's kiss. Very, very nice. So let's go ahead and talk about what makes Crocodile a good leader in OP04, or why the buffs matter. Well, Crocodile has had a pretty solid core, and most important thing of Crocodile is the fact that he is a Baroque's work type leader. That combination works for a couple of specific cards, most importantly, Miss All Sunday. Now, Miss All Sunday is one of the strongest blockers that has been printed in the game because it has an on-KO effect that states if your leader has the Baroque Works type, return up to one event card from your trash to your hand. Now, two things to note: this event card that I'm adding to my hand is not controlled by a specific cost, and it is not controlled by a specific color. Yes, this is a mono blue deck, so it's going to be a blue event, but we can go ahead and add anything from our trash to our hand. We can add a 3000 World, which is very, very powerful, Gum Gum Red Rock, and a Love Beam. What's really solid about this deck is that it can push through defense very easily. Let's say your opponent ever goes down to 0 life and they go ahead and leave up 2 blockers. Well, 3000 Worlds can bottom deck one. Leader can then -4 to bounce the other one, and then you can go for a game with your characters and your leader. You have Red Rock that just deals with anything in the game, which is really, really good because we used to struggle with specific cards like 8 drops and higher. And then we have Kaido that can just bounce these 8 drops, and you can combo him 8 drop bounce, 3 drop bounce, leader bounce, GG. So it does a lot of good things. Most importantly, it also makes use of the Centamaru package. This package is very, very powerful for keeping up tempo. It's good on odds. It's good on evens. It's good at all points of time in the game. This card is exceptional, and it has just the deck in general has a bunch of defense in 12 2Ks. It has filter with Usopp. You have early game control with ulti and Flamingo blocker. And then you got late game with Mihawk, Flamingo, and the Kaido. So I'm very excited to see exactly what this deck can do. So let's go ahead and play some games, and hopefully I can show you guys exactly what the Croc is all about. Alrighty, so for our first mono Crocodile beatdown, we're going to be going against Rebecca, and we do not have a good hand. I mean, we've got the Centamaru, but we surely have 2 Pacifistas there too. So we're going to go ahead and just, my opponent opts to use effect and, you know, doesn't get a little lucky, which is good for us. We're going to go ahead and play Centamaru. Hopefully they don't have an answer to this in the form of like Sudo Kiros would be the best way. I mean, there's also 3000 World, Trono Bastardo. There's a couple cards here that really screw us, but hopefully he just doesn't play them. Instead, he opts to play Orlumbus, which is exactly what we needed. We're going to go ahead and summon a Pacifista from the deck, because that's all we've got. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, 7. And I don't believe I'm going to be attacking with the Centamaru, mostly because my opponent is unaware that I'm out of Pacifistas, right? And that's really important because if they use Orlumbus's effect, they might not opt to use it on the Pacifista, but the Centamaru instead. So he plays Solomon plus Kidos Shore, and then attacks me for 5, right? I mean, inevitably, it all happened the way I wanted it to, where he was able to KO the Centamaru, and I'm able to keep the 6k vanilla onto the board. So I'm going to go ahead and swing at his Orlumbus for 7. Damn, boy. That was loud. Let's see what he does in response to this 7k attack. He lets it go through. Awesome. And then we're just going to go ahead and 7 at his leader. And play another Pacifista. Seems like the game plan is very simple. We're just going to be summoning a couple Pacifistas. And that's going to have to truly get us there. He's going to attack us for 5. I'm going to go ahead and counter out of that attack. He goes ahead and plays Monkey D. Luffy. Crap. Not good. Not good. Gonna need a red rock and I'm gonna need it fast. So let's see if he opts to attack. He does have the Colosseum, so he can attack my my other characters. I'm gonna go ahead and just 2k out of it. He didn't decide to attach a Dawn, which I find weird. He's gonna go ahead and attack my leader for 5, which I will take. No, I opt to defend here as well. He doesn't unfreeze his Luffy, which again seems bizarre to me, so I'm going to go 5 at the Solomon, see if I can get a 2k out of him, and he falls for the trick where he does give me the 2k, and now my Pacifistas do get to just challenge your Luffy. I'm going to go 9 at the Luffy, and he's going to have to give me a 2k, 1k, and then I'm just going to, oh, just lets it go through. I was planning on 9-9 summoning Miss All Sunday, but now what do I do with my life? I guess I just attack the Solomon for 6, play an ulti, Sasaki. Ooh, nice. And then we're able to stack the top of the deck. Yeah, we're gonna bottom that because we do have exactly what we want in terms of our answers in our hand here, and we're just gonna have to defend and pray. Defend and pray. Seems like a good plan, right? So my opponent now goes ahead and plays Rebecca. Rebecca's gonna go ahead and find him another Luffy, which we do have the red rock for. He plays Orlumbus now. Gonna probably use Orlumbus effect, targeting the Kyros. Kyros, you know, just resting the Colosseum, and then he's gonna play another Kyros. Well, that's not great. You can go ahead and attack. Oh, he opts to go ahead and play another Colosseum. I know he has a Luffy in hand. No, he has Colosseum. He goes ahead and attacks me for 5, which is bizarre. I'll take that card in hand. And then the Orlumbus can only attack the Pacifistas right now. So if he wants to attach the final Dawn there, they can. They opt not to. They'll just use Rebecca's effect and reveal a 2k out of life. I'm going to go ahead and swing at him for 7. Okay, they defend it, which is smart because if not, I was going to go super hard. I'm going to go 7 again. Sasaki, go. Get him, boy. 12. So that last game was a little weird, right? We got to get in there with Pacifistas, but sometimes you just do, right? If your opponent makes a couple mistakes, you're really able to capitalize off of it in this deck. And this is another hand where, my goodness, my God, are we not doing anything? We're playing as Burple Kaido here. He opens stage. Horrible for us. And he attacks us for 5. We're just going to take the first one to see what our deck is really going to go ahead and do. I'm really considering playing Kaya here. But instead I opt to play the Pacifista, which is the more reasonable play, right? The more responsible one. I'm just afraid of getting kinged on curve, which he very much could have done. He doesn't have it, thank God. Plays the Flamingo blocker, which, I mean, we do have this for it. I mean, the Flamingo blocker isn't the best target that you want at 3,000 worlds. It's probably Queen. We want to hold that card for Queen as much as we possibly can. He does summon a Sasaki and then attacks us for 5, and our hand is just so booty that we'll take another one. Not getting anything still. Now our hand is, I mean, we're getting closer towards the end of the game, but we're not really advancing our game state in any sense. I probably will end up just 3,000 worlding, playing a Miss All Sunday, right? We don't have the Dawn exactly to do that. So I'll attack my opponent for 7. He does take. I'll attack for 7 again. Question mark? He's going to have to give us some cards eventually, right? He does, and I'll give him, I'll just play like the ulti and hope the ulti survives and somehow we deal a little bit of damage, because I don't think the ulti will really get its bonus effect in this matchup. There aren't many cards that we can bottom deck except the Who's Who, and I don't think he'll play a Who's Who into it, so we'll see. My opponent does end up ramping. He's at 10 Dawn, but he has exactly 9 active for Rush Kaido, which is the worst possible scenario imaginable for us. But that's okay. He goes ahead and KOs the ulti, and then I'm considering defending this because if we lose this, then we really have no threats. And not many chances of winning, actually. So I'm trying to do some math here and figure out exactly how the next couple of turns are going to go. I'm going to go ahead and actually let this one go through. I'm going to go ahead and attack me for 5, probably. And then what do we do with our lives? Truly. Except top deck Red Rock like a god. Anyone? Thoughts? Okay, no, we don't do that. So we're going to go ahead and, man, oh man. Going to attack leader for 6. See if he gives us the blocker, and then we can bottom deck the Sasaki and play a Miss All Sunday, which feels okay. He ends up taking the life instead, which is weird, right? Because you're giving us a possibility of coming back in this game that we otherwise shouldn't have. Now, the Kaido deck, once it has the stage, it can back-to-back 10-drop if and only if they go ahead and attach a Dawn to the leader. Now, he wasn't able to attach a Dawn to the leader because he wasn't at a full 10, he was an actual 9. So if I remove the Sasaki, then he can't 9-drop me back-to-back. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the Sasaki instead of the blocker. He's going to attack me for 7. If I do defend this, then he will get ramped 1. But he already attached Dawn, so he won't be able to play the 9-drop. But I still will defend this attack. Then it's the same, right? As if I... This is just more defensive. I do end up taking this hit. Just don't want to give him the Dawn right now. And we'll see. He still has 5 Dawn to work with. This is a bizarre attack. Because it really puts him in... Unless you have a blocker here, you're going to be in a really bad position. So, what do we opt to do here? Seems like... We're going to go ahead and attach a ton of Dawn. I'm going to go 9. Going to have to show me a Blast Breath plus a card, which it's reasonable to assume that our opponent does have this. I'm going to go Gum Gum Rain, but the purple version, and then a Bagua, which means that he's going to be at 10 Dawn no matter what I do on the following turn. So I'm going to go ahead and place a Dawn Sentamaru, go ahead and summon a Pacifista. And I'm thinking if I want a Dawn -4, and I truly don't because I need all the Dawn I can get at this point in time now. And I don't think we're in any fear of, losing the game at this particular time. So he goes ahead and attacks me for 10 without Dawn under his leader. So I'm going to go ahead and capitalize that and block while I still can. Will he 10-drop me? He does opt to 10-drop me, which is, I'm down. If you're down, I'm down, brother. I'm going to go ahead and defend this. I do need the Sentamaru in my hand. I top deck the Red Rock. Let's go, boys. We'll go ahead and attach our 1 Dawn to our leader. Attack for 6. Ooh, we get in there, and then we Red Rock it, and then we play the Sentamaru, and now we're in a really good spot, right? Still haven't summoned a big dude, and it's enough to win. All right, so for our last game, we're going to be playing versus Queen. Now, my goodness, all of these matchups are just, they're like going to go past turn 20, man, because our deck does not do anything. Most of the Crocodile decks do not defeat your opponent too quickly. So, but on the bright side, this time we do have double Sentamaru opening with the Flamingo and the Red Rock. So we got some pretty decent value of cards here in our hands. Very high impact cards. We also have the Miss All Sunday. He's going to go ahead and attack us for 5 here. I'll let it go. He's going to probably end up playing like a Brûlé here. Oh no, the 5/5. The dreaded 5/5. Yeah, you know what? I'll give it to you. I do know how this matchup usually goes down, and if I amass and protect my life, then the Yamatos get more value, and then if the Yamatos get more value, then I'm sad, and being sad is just not good, I'm going to go ahead and stack it in this particular way. I think I end up choosing to bottom deck it because there's not really any big impactful cards. I'm looking for Kaidos. I'm looking for Mihawks. Cards that can keep up with the attack stat that my opponent has. I'm going to go ahead and pitch a Sentamaru here because, I probably will only end up needing 1. He ends up playing Pound and Passing, keeping up 2 Dawn for what? Not necessarily sure. I'm going to go attack my opponent for 5. He ends up taking it, triggers a Brûlé. I mean, it'd be how it'd be. I'm going to go ahead and Sentamaru, trigger the ability. This time, all the Pacifistas are in our deck, so that's good. This is, this is good stuff finally coming in this Crocodile game. So, this kind of forces our opponent to have spot removal for this Sentamaru, and if you're red rocking Sentamaru, that's awesome. So, my opponent's going to go ahead and hit me for 5, which will opt to take again. Sentamaru gets to live another turn. You love to see it. But boy, is that a lot of blockers. That's a lot of dudes. And I gotta read Pound one more time because Pound is a bizarre card, right? So it can bottom deck our Centamaru, or it can life our Centamaru. And then we've got 3 Brulés to work with. So he's set up for the late game. I'm gonna go ahead and attach a Dawn to Centamaru, use its ability before we do anything, attack for 5. Then our opponent, considering their options, they've got a lot of options. Ooh, trigger, bottom deck the Centamaru. Ah, great. 5. Yeah, everything's kind of has to go in this matchup, right? So we're gonna go ahead 5. Just hit him as base as possible. Become Zoro. Pretend that you're Zoro, but instead of like having a sword, you're very sandy. It's like Zoro went to the beach. I was gonna go ahead and defend that one. I'm gonna go ahead and bottom deck the Pound. And then they're going to Kaya. It's going to discard 2 cards for a net even. So he has 1 card in hand. That 1 card better be crazy. But he's going to end up drawing a card here from the Queen, which it's already stacked because of the Perona. Like, they should know exactly what's on top of the deck. Go ahead and defend. Plays a Sanji, which doesn't really do much. 7. All right, do it again. 7. Oh. Plays Beji. Beji. Oh, no, he's going to pitch the Beji for a Sanji. Sure, not just going to have to go 5s at him. He's going to defend with the Brulé. Going to go 5 with the Flamingo blocker. He takes. Plays Boa. Don't have to attach a Dawn again. Going to block with the Boa. Going to opt to 3,000 Worlds, probably. Yeah, 3,000 Worlds of the Sanji. We'll use Leader ability to bounce the Sanji. And then we'll play a Miss All Sunday and pass. This puts him in a situation where he doesn't really have any threats on the board. I have a block to whatever he does. Attaching 2 Dawn here and going for the passive Fist. I'll just block and grab another 3,000 Worlds. Gonna play double Sanji once again, and that will just be game. 3,000 Worlds 1, Leader ability the other one, and 5, 6. And that should be it. That's all she wrote for the Queen deck. Now, unfortunately, the Queen didn't really get any big drops, and we were able to just pass the Fist our way to victory. But sometimes it be like that, boys. Sometimes it be like that. GG. So we're back with the deck, and crikey, that's a big croc. Vegemite. Other Australian things. Yeah, deck's pretty good. I don't know if those games were of high quality. It just kind of felt like I did passive Feast a beatdown with some sort of removal. And honestly, sometimes that is just good enough. The deck just aggressively mulligans for Centamaru because Centamaru is the majority of your early mid-game. And then as you play into the later portions of the game, you take your life aggressively depending on the matchup, and then you start removing things off the back of 2,000 Worlds and Red Rock and using Miss All Sunday to recover them while using your bountiful amount of 2Ks to protect your board. So I hope I showcased exactly what the deck wants to do. What I didn't showcase was I never dropped a card higher than 7 costs. I don't think I summoned Flamingo, Usopp, Mihawk, or Kaido in any of my games, but that's just... it shows the power of Crocodile, I guess. I don't know. I think it just overall highlights just exactly how impactful this card can be. And funnily enough, there's not really a mono blue leader that is abusing Centamaru as much as Crocodile, because like I said earlier, you can play it for 3, you can play it for 6. It feels great in both positions. In some matchups, you'd rather play it for 6 because of the high amount of removal that your opponent has. And sometimes your hand is just so crappy that you're just like, well, I'm going to summon him on 3 and pray to the loads that you don't got an answer. And sometimes that's the way you got to do it. But the Croc, it felt absolutely fantastic to me. Every game, I felt like I was in complete control of my actions. And I always had... I think I finished every game with multiple cards in hand. There was only a few games where I was aggressively countering, but I mean, that's all very specific, and I hope you guys learned something from my commentary in those games from this video. So if you guys like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to, and then after, leave me a comment telling me how you feel about the big crocky boy himself. I'm an enjoyer of him, played him. I was this close to topping with him in Super Pre-Release. So I'm a big enjoyer of the Croc, and maybe I'll take him back for a spin, as there isn't really too many additions that happen in set 4 besides the, you know, additions of these very powerful 2K, ulti for early game protection, Red Rock, which is, and Kaido. So You don't really got to pick up too much. If you have all of this from previous sets, then the deck is should be pretty cheap to pick up. So yeah, hopefully you guys give it a shot. And as always, if you guys are enjoying this type of One Piece trading card game content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.